USA Gymnastics says it wholeheartedly supports Simone Biles' decision after the star gymnast announced she's withdrawing for the Olympic all-around finals to focus on her mental health. It's still unclear if she'll compete in any further events. Meanwhile, last night was a big night for Team USA as American swim star Katie Ledecky took home gold in the women's 1,500-meter freestyle. Americans Alex Walsh and Katie Douglas also took home the silver and the bronze in the 200 swim medley. And on the basketball court, the U.S. men's team beat Team Iran 120-66. Amy Robach is in Tokyo with more on some Olympic highlights.
This morning, we're hearing from some of the first Team USA stars who are bringing home the hardware.
I mean, it's a lifelong dream just to be at the Olympics, and to be able to say that we medaled at the Olympics is pretty crazy.
Synchronized divers DELANEY SCHNELL and Jessica Parado are taking home silver, becoming the first U.S. women to ever medal in the event. The pair teaming up to compete together just 10 days before the start of the trials.
It's pretty crazy when people say it out loud to us. We don't really realize it was such a short amount of time. Obviously, it was a really good call, and we've just kind of been moving that momentum forward and just really confident in each other, trusting in each other, and it's been great.
And with skateboarding making its Olympic debut here in Tokyo, American JAGGER EATON is taking home bronze.
I know you were pretty nervous in the hours leading up to the actual competition.
I was nervous, and for me, the only pressure that there is in competition is the pressure that you put on yourself. And I put a lot of pressure on myself to do well. And I'm just grateful to come out with a medal.
Right after the competition.
Never leaving my side.
There it is.
Never leave my side.
But it's the U.S. swimmers making a splash with medals under their caps. Among them, 25-year-old University of Georgia alum Jay LITHERLAND.
First of all, from one dog to another dog.
Hey, go dogs, yeah.
Go dogs. Congratulations. It was really in the last 15 meters of the race where you just came out of nowhere and boom, took the silver. What was going through your mind when you're in the pool?
I think that last push is more like, all right, let's just put it on fate. I heard the Team USA, my teammates going crazy, so I just kind of went with that.
Amy Robach in Tokyo, thank you. And for more on the games, let's bring in Kenneth Moten in Tokyo. Kenneth, good morning, good evening to you. The big news out of Tokyo, of course, is Simone Biles pulling out of the all-around finals. What's the reaction there in Tokyo, and what's next for Biles in these games?
A lot of love and support for Simone Biles here in Tokyo, Diane. We have seen athletes all addressing it today here at Tokyo 2020, supporting her, saying she needs that time, that mental rest is important. We all know that for a gymnast, it could be a life or death situation when you are catapulting yourself off a vault. And if your mind is not right, you could seriously be injured. And so as they show their love for Simone Biles, we all know it's up to Simone Biles for what's next. As we try to figure out, is she going to compete next week here in Tokyo? We know that USA Gymnastics has said that they will evaluate her daily to see if she will compete next week. But again, this is Simone Biles' decision. And she says that she will take that time. She has been very open, very honest about her situation, very transparent, which again is why fans love her so much and they're rooting for her.
Now, everyone's also talking about Katie Ledecky's big win. So what's on deck for her now?
Talk about, oh wait, I saw what you did there. Katie Ledecky, what's on deck for? That's a good one, Diane. Yes, talk about whiplash. Whiplash from Katie Ledecky. She lost, right? She failed for the first time not to medal. She didn't medal. We were surprised. We were shocked. And then she turned around, and let me get this right. She won the first ever women's 1,500-meter freestyle at the Olympics. She swam 30 laps. I can't even do 2, but Katie Ledecky really showed out in the pool today. Again, talk about whiplash. So exciting. A lot of athletes here looking at her, talking about her as well, but she really impressed folks today.
All right, and she's got more events ahead, so a lot of people will be watching her in the pool as those come up. And in the meantime, Kenneth, Tokyo is reporting its highest number of new COVID infections ever. So what's it like there in the city, and could this impact the future of the games now that they've already started?
Well, yes, they've started. We're taking it day by day here in Tokyo. That's what we've been doing when it comes to our health and safety. That's what the athletes have been doing. And it appears that's what Tokyo 2020 is doing as well. You mentioned the numbers here in Tokyo, more than 3,000 new daily cases. That's the first time ever during the pandemic. Diane, that's just incredible. More than 170 cases, more than 170 positive cases tied to these games. And so Olympic officials have been saying what they've been saying and what we reported right here on ABC News Live last week, which is they'll continue to monitor the numbers. They'll try to prevent any outbreaks and the spread of COVID-19. They've been really jumping on things when they've seen, like, for instance, athletes hugging each other without their mask on in the medal ceremony, but then adjusting the rules there. They've been jumping on these types of COVID protocols to make sure the athletes obey the rules here to try to prevent the spread of COVID-19, but they're definitely troublesome numbers. We haven't seen the demonstrations and the protests we saw at the beginning of these games. Maybe that's because as time goes on, the games are here, and Tokyo and the Japanese people are likely saying, let's just get through these games. Of course, we have another more than a week to go of these games, but yes, it's very concerning those numbers are so high.
And Kenneth, I know the weather is not helping either. Tennis matches, we're hearing, are now going to begin at 3 p.m. in Tokyo on Thursday instead of at 11 a.m. because of the increasing heat and humidity. There's also a typhoon on the way. So how is the weather impacting the games and the athletes?
It's hot, Diane. I mean, like, hot. I'm from South Carolina. I know hot, I know humidity, and it rivals that. I mean, we've had temperatures in the high 80s. We hit some 90s last week. The humidity is off the charts. You go outside and within seconds, you are sweating. And so I actually am very happy to talk to you at this time of night. It's around midnight here in Tokyo, and it starts to cool down a little bit. You mentioned that typhoon. It made landfall. It actually cooled things down a little bit, and it caused some good surf for the surfers when they had their competition just yesterday. But here it's impacting the athletes. We have athletes who are falling out. They are passing out, Diane. They are suffering from heat stroke. And we have this Daniil Medvedev from Russia who said this during his tennis match. He told the umpire, he was visibly upset today when he told the umpire that, yes, he could finish the match, but who's going to be held responsible if I die? We actually had Paula Badosa from Spain, another tennis player who had to be wheeled off the court because she was suffering from heat stroke. So that's the conditions we're facing here. You mentioned they changed the times of the tennis start time there. That is good news for these athletes, but we have track and field coming up in a few days. That is outside. So many of these sports outside, and so many of these athletes are suffering.
Wow. So, Kenneth, what events are you watching out for in the next day or two?
Well, I like to go to the ones inside because it's so hot here. So if it's inside, there's air conditioning. That's the sport for me, Diane. But swimming, you know, I told you the other day, I love swimming. Love it. We saw what Katie Ledecky did. We have seen some incredible competitions when it comes to swimming. So we've got men and women tomorrow, from breaststroke to freestyle and relay. Love it. I love to see what they can do in the pool, and I love when they're racing because my heart races as well, so I'm all about the swimming and gymnastics as well.
All right. Kenneth Moten in Tokyo. We appreciate it, friends. Stay cool.
Thank you.
And right now, the U.S. is leading the way with 31 medals. 11 of those are gold. China's not far behind with 27 medals, followed by the Russian Olympic Committee with 23.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.